Yeah, I got the plan, I got the fam, I got the keys, I get to work. I am the man, you know what I'm saying, so leave it to me, cause I get it first. Yeah, whew, I've been going all day, man. Same plan, can't change that. Till I'm right around, whole squad sitting back, chilling in the Maybach. Yeah, only as deep as your roots go. I don't do corny like fructose. If you got the drummer, that's word of my mama, I'll cover you up like a tombstone. I was last in my past, now you see I'm the one. They say work, never work, if you work and it's fun. We on the winning team, on top where you find us. We can do anything, non-stop till our time's up. We on the winning team, on top where you find us. We can do anything, non-stop till our time's up. We can do, ayy, we coming up from the dirt, ayy. They tryna get us to fall, ayy. I don't even gotta flex now, boy. It's only win by default, ayy. Taking off with the ring, ain't nothing left, man. We the kings, ran with the team, ran with the dream, ran with the one fan in the seats, ayy. I pay my dues, check the receipt. Looking at you, you already peaked. Way, way, way back then. You can't follow with my tracks, man. I was last in my past, now you see I'm the one. They say work, never work, if you work and it's fun. We on the winning team, on top where you find us. We can do anything, non-stop till our time's up. We on the winning team, on top where you find us. We can do anything, non-stop till our time's up. We on the winning team, on top where you find us. We can do anything, non-stop till our time's up. We on the winning team, on top where you find us. We can do anything, non-stop till our time's up.
coming up to the line, being chased, and it was Braden Johnson. Unbelievable finish. It was 1/1000th of a second between them.
Green flag in the air. We are racing in the 2020 24 Hours of Daytona.
They go door to door for the feature race lead here on the last lap of the race.
Side by side for the race lead in the final corner at Homestead.
Down the back straightaway, 3 wide again for the race lead. This is unbelievable stuff here tonight.
Loma is going to have to be very deep on the brakes, and he is very deep on the brakes. It's side by side through the corner. This is for the win.
It'll be side by side. Davies low, Ottinger high. To the very inside is Garrett low. 4 wide at the stripe.
For all he's with here on this outside line, neck and neck. Who's going to back out? Does anyone back out?
Verstappen starts to squeeze on the inside, and now he'll try and straight line it. Goes under the apron, drag race to the line. It's so close to call.
Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to the debut and opening race of the Wall Stadium iRacing League from the virtual Southern National Motorsports Park, with live coverage right here on the KBueno Racing Network. Right here in the booth, my name is Kenneth Bueno, joined alongside by fellow iRacing driver and real-life competitor Joseph Costello. And Joseph, first of all, welcome to the booth. It's your first time being in here, your first time on the KBueno Racing Network, so of course our welcomes to you with open arms, but definitely not the first time you visit a virtual or otherwise real life short track, at least in this scenario here tonight for the Wall Stadium iRacing.
Oh no, this track is very interesting. It kind of is like Wall Stadium with the high banks, but in terms of track length, it's a much larger, but in terms of banking wise, it is something like Wall Stadium. Wall Stadium obviously is a short track located in New Jersey, Walls Township, New Jersey. Very high banked. It's a good little short track. If you're over in the Northeast area and you want to race car, modified, late model, street stock, or a Legends car, mostly the Legends cars is what they're going to be less pain in. You can visit the Wall Stadium. The track rules are on the website. So yeah.
And as we kick off our coverage for this league from Southern National, we kick off one of the 2 races for this league that we will see here tonight. There will be the first race for the Legend Car Division starting first very shortly in just a couple of seconds or just a couple of minutes. And then the Modified Division starting at 9 p.m. Eastern. We'll have our second broadcast for that. Joseph, I'm sure you're going to be joining me there as well. But Joseph, to reference this first race here tonight, to open everything up, you know definitely a lot more than I do about these Legend cars, not only in real life, but on the virtual side as well. You spent a lot of time on here. You seem to be very, very familiar with the way these cars race and the way they handle around each and every track on the iRacing service. What challenge is going to be presented here tonight as we see this specific cars and these Legend cars touch over on this specific track at Southern National?
So it's mostly about keeping up your speed throughout the corners and your balance in the setup through the center too. Again, this track is very fast with the Legends cars and the Modifieds and any other race car you drive here, besides bigger cars that are not really short track cars. Mostly you want to keep up your speed coming off the corner and then going to the next corner. You really want to try to get a good run off. You mostly want to run the bottom side here at the Southern National. You really don't want to run that middle groove. You can make the middle groove work. It is possible to make that middle groove work. However, it is a little difficult, as a lot of drivers struggle to find that top side. They struggle to make that top side work.
Definitely going to be a very interesting challenge to touch over every single one of these drivers here from Southern National. Just going to grab a little more information about this Southern National Motorsports Park as we take a look at our KBRN Track Map with images provided by Google Earth. A look above, and we'll zoom in to our venue for tonight at Lucama, North Carolina. 4/10 of a mile here for Southern National. Track opened all the way back in 1993. They've been having weekly races ever since. And as we're looking down to the racetrack, you can see every one of those drivers down behind the iRacing pace truck. It's going to be our time to look at your starting grid, and we'll see where your favorite driver and every other driver will be starting here tonight from Southern National. On the pole is Dom Fatarusso. The number 26 sets a 15.498, enough to put him on the pole. Right next to him on the outside lane of row number 1, Proximity Racing's Alex K. Gretz.
Row number 2 will belong to Paulie Hartwig Jr. and the number 73. That is outside will be the number 51 of Patrick J. Gallagher.
Row number 3 will feature Paul Mancini, the number 76, and right alongside him, Brian Osborne, starting from the 6th spot tonight in 15.
Row 4 will belong to Ryan Kaluta and James Easley in the number 13 car.
Gonna look at our rest of our grid before we get green. James Gerald, Eric Stryker, Travis Schwartz, Kyle Sisko, who we saw in the fixed setup Snowball Derby, Bruce Pernitza Jr., Travis Sutphin, and that'll be the entire field. As we look over, and we got the pace truck very, very shortly going to be heading down to the pit lane, and we'll be sure to get all the racing here. 40 laps from Southern National. Going to be a fairly quick race, at least with these cars, and pretty fast, especially around this very short track. Pace truck will make its way down to pit road. Fatarusso and Gretz will be the first two to lead the field to green, and we are underway from Southern National in the Wall Stadium iRacing League. Going to turn 1 and 2, easy lead for the number 26. Gretz going to hold off the 73 and the 51 right behind. Everybody about 3 wide even behind them.
Hartwig underneath Alex K. Gretz. Alex K. Gretz tends to set up his cars out for the long run. He falls back down to 3rd right now. Paulie Hartwig Jr. up to P2. On the back bumper of Gretz is the number 51 of Patrick J. Gallagher. Trouble on the racetrack. Caution now. Big flip in turns 1 and 2. It is the number 14 of Travis Schwartz and James Gerald. And that's the 52 of Travis Stuffin, as he will get a tow back to the pit lane.
Travis Sutphin, James Gerald, looks like Travis Schwartz. You saw him right upside down on his lid. We'll take a replay, see exactly where this started. Seems to have been a very violent wreck on the exit of turns 3 and 4. This is a look from the 52 of Sutphin's view as he was working in a 1 and 2 for the first time on lap number 1. I believe it starts just a little bit up ahead. There were 3 wide, just a little bit. And you're coming in to turn 1 and 2. I think there's contact actually between the 86 and the 52 and the 14 go completely flying, tumbling over the track. Seems as though it was initial contact.
James Gerald looks like he just got loose entering turn 1. I guess he just had a too loose of a setup. Usually some of these guys have their setups way too loose on cold tires, and he goes into turn 1, just loses the back end, and then 52 just cleans him out. The 52 and the 14 take a hard hit to the outside wall. Thank God this is not IRL, otherwise we have an ambulance on the racetrack right now.
It almost looked like from an initial look that the 52 might have had a contact to the 86, but it seems as though the 86 just kind of lost it on the entrance of the corner. I think maybe just trying to defend the bottom line to make sure the 52 wasn't there, but then the 52 already had overshot the corner, and as a result...
A little too early to go 3 wide here at Southern National. I mean, you have 40 laps. It is a Legends car race. You could go aggressive, but otherwise, a little too early. I mean, again, 40 laps, this big oval. But James Gerald, you just can't do much when you're just that loose entering in turn 1. Again, cold tires, it does upset the car. It depends on your setup. So nothing really James Gerald could do there.
We'll just have to see. A lot of them getting repairs, so it could just be out of this race for the moment. We're going to get a restart on lap number 6 as the number 26 of Fatarusso leads him back to the green flag. Did see Paulie Hartwig get underneath the 09 of Alex K. Gretz, but this is that time for the 09 to make his move back to the bottom, and he's doing so in turns 3 and 4. He's got help from the 51 of Gallagher behind him.
Paulie Hartwig Jr. is going to go to the outside. Like I said earlier, the outside lane is not really the groove you want to be. He's falling back a little bit. Gretz back up to P2. He's behind Fatarusso. Car back on the racetrack. Trouble in turn 2 again. Looks like it is James Gerald again in the it's Eric Steichel in the other Michael Carroll machine. And it's going to be the James Easley machine too. They wreck again in turn number 2. Let's take a look at what happened there.
Doesn't look like either of them have significant damage, but we'll just have to see what the cause of this incident was. Might have been way less harmful than what we saw with the 2 cars going up and over, but here's the look. They were side by side into turn number 1. I think just initial contact entering, just way too close down to the bottom. It enabled both of them to go around, easily went around, but at least the benefit for these two, at least they didn't suffer too much damage, at least the race car. It seems as though everything's pretty all fine and dandy. Don't think they're going to have to take their trip down a pit road in order to get any sort of repairs needed for their race cars. Joseph?
The good news is that in IRL, that would have been a wheel hop. The 13 would have wheel hopped to 99. We would have had probably another flip. That's the good news about what iRacing. The bad news is that the 99 looks like the 99 just did not give the 1390 room. Kyle Sisko is pushing the 99, and going to turn 1, it looks like that he just forced the 13 down into the apron, and once you're on the apron, there's just no grip, and the car just gets underneath you. So right now, right now it's just a racing incident, but nothing. But the 99 should have just known that there's a car on the inside.
Well, luckily for them, they won't necessarily have to go down pit road for anything. Maybe some flat-spotted tires, but I don't think that will be too harmful. They can easily make their trip down a pit road in order to make that happen. While we're under our second yellow of the evening, good moment to remind you that if you want to join the conversation with us up in the KBRN booth, you can do so by using hashtag AskKBRN. Of course, put your question followed by that hashtag. Be sure to answer anything you'd like to us up at the booth about this race, about this series, about our broadcasting services, or practically anything within appropriate reason up to us in the booth. Always like to interact with the people down in the YouTube chat and make sure they're not too bored. They're having some fun, at least with us, watching this race here from Southern National. Joseph, I know we've already had 2 quick yellows. We haven't seen too much of a long green flag run just yet up to lap number 40. If we get a long green flag run per se, what's going to be the biggest thing that's going to help drivers, especially as they go down a long run, and especially since they have these setups before we go green here?
Well, Alex Gagratz, again, he sets his cars for the long run, so his tires are good. As he come back to the green flag, pace truck is in. Dom Federico, a great start. But Alex Gagratz, he just sets his cars for the long run, so I think he'll be a big factor. As Federico now takes the lead off turn 2, he's going to try to get a gap between him and Gratz. The 51 of Gallagher up to P3 now, trying to get around Paulie Hartwig Jr. as they're pretty much double file for P3 and on back. 3 wide on the front straightaway, trouble! 15 is going to save his race car.
15 of Brian Osborne, but not anymore as Gretz goes around right in front of them. It seemed as though we could have had just a save before. It seems as though Gretz might have gotten tagged around on the exit of turn number 2. Brings out our 3rd yellow lap, number 16 onto the racetrack. We'll just take a look, see exactly what might have transpired. And we were focusing on that big scuffle with the 15 down in the middle. You can see it there down the front straightaway as they were working down. Well, we'll look at it one more time. But just look at this off of turn number 4. You see, we're looking at Alex Gretz. We're going to see what happened to him. Look at the 15 through the middle. Gets tagged by Kyle Sisko. And then, yeah, there's the 09. It seems as though he just lost the race car. And then hard contact as the 13 piled in.
Know where the 13 could go. Alex was passing the 26 of Federico to the inside of the racetrack and tagging the apron, just getting two below that white line. Just not. It's gonna very much upset the car, and the car's just getting around underneath you. That's the thing about the Legends cars between IRL and iRacing. Usually in IRL, if you tag the apron, your car will get loose, but not that loose. iRacing, if you tag the apron, the car will just get away from you. And again, the 13 just nowhere to go. That 13 car not having the best night so far here at Southern National.
Definitely not. Hopefully he can try and turn this around. I mean, there's still not. Now time is really running out because we're getting to lap number 18. Again, caution laps do count on the racetrack apart from some other types of racing. I know in the dirt series we won't see any caution laps being counted if they are thrown out of the racetrack. But here on this side of things, they do count. So we are wasting laps away as we're behind this pace truck, and time will run out. So even drivers with certain mistakes even early in this race, they could easily transpire, move on to the rest of the event. So far, it has all been Dom Federico. He has yet to really concede the race lead just yet through the moment. Obviously, Alex Gretz was looking to make that move. He's most likely going to be restarting here back in 11th, as now we're already back at our halfway point. One green signal from the pace truck. We'll be taking the green very shortly.
Don't count on Gretz, by the way. Gretz can still make his way up to the field. He is a very fast and very talented race car driver in IRL and on iRacing. But still, Dom Federico and Patrick J. Gallagher, they are your 2 leaders. Let's see what Gallagher could do. He really couldn't keep up with the top 3 as he's trying to get a good jump on the start. Pace truck is in. Federico hits the throttle. They are back racing. Paulie Hartwig, what can he do? Will the 15 make a move on the Paulie Hartwig?
We'll look to the inside. The 73 will look over to second. 51, but a little loose and already quick yellow. Once again, this time it's again Eric Stryker in the number 99. I don't think he also suffered damage. I think it was just another one single car incident. Just again, we'll look at another replay. We'll see if he went around on the racetrack just so low and he got a turn number 2. Actually, no. Stryker there. You see him there. I think he got tagged by Gretz on the entrance.
Yeah. Gretz,
Right there.
Gretz trying to make a move 3 wide, and he is. Alex is sometimes a little impatient, but he's just trying to get back up to the front. I mean, again, caution laps do count, like you said, Kenneth, and he just wants to get to the front as quickly as possible. And he got a good restart, but the 99 and the 17 the 09 just make contact. Gretz just got the apron up the track. Not really much you can do there once you tag the apron. You could try to lay off the throttle and let it roll, but you'll lose so much time, and then Gretz is just trying to get to the front. So not too much damage from the 99 or the 09. So again, Gretz now back up to P9, and 14 started. So he only has to make up 8 positions, and I think he could do it. I mean, I don't know. Not in 99 if Eric Skrider could not be too happy with him, though.
Well, looks like Gretz was just on a mission trying to get back to the front of the field after that initial incident. So he's still on that route. Yeah, and these yellows certainly aren't helping him for the most part. He's only gained 2 spots since drop of the green flag on that restart. So he's going to have a lot more work. Yeah, not a lot of work cut out for him. Well, a lot of work cut out for him, at least. Not a lot of time left in retrospect as we continue to move forward through this first race. And talk about more about this season, Joseph, especially this in particular. I mean, this is the first time that the KBueno Racing Network has ever touched, and I remember we did talk about this pre-race. It's the first time that the KBueno Racing Network has dipped their toes into the short track scene. We've only really seen short tracks when we visit them on the stock cars and the NASCAR Cup Series, when we go to places like Martinsville, go to places like Bristol, but not a dedicated short track series at all for these cars. We're about to go green here with Fata Russo up front, like street stocks, legend cars, and obviously the modifieds, which we'll be seeing here later tonight. And just describe to us a little bit more about this league as we continue to move forward, and as Paulie Hardwick eagerly tries to get over the first spot.
So this league was basically made for the drivers who race in real life at the Wall Stadium or anywhere else in the Northeast to come have some fun on iRacing. We didn't know we were having a season. Trouble for the 51. Gallagher's a rat. Oh, whiplash is off the wall. Caution is out. That was a hard hit for the 51, but it was mostly made. This league was mostly made for to have some fun on iRacing, just so we can have drivers and have a season at Wall, because we didn't know what was going to happen due to the COVID-19 pandemic happening. The Kraus family put in a lot of effort to make the season happen in real life, and we had a shortened season, but it was a good season for the real life legend cars, modifieds, factory stocks, and all those other divisions. So James Gerald just said, you know what, let's just have a full-on iRacing season. They have Southern National, which is the closest thing to Wall Stadium, and they put all this together, and we're here race 1, season 1. I don't know if this will continue on, but this is something that really probably means a lot to some of these drivers that couldn't race like me this year. Means a lot. So this league will continue on at they will continue on with their modified schedule. I believe they head to New Smyrna next week for the modifieds, if I'm not mistaken.
And we're just looking way back at this incident here. Started around where Kyle Sisko was. Obviously, Patrick Gallagher might have gotten tagged by the 6 machine, and then trying to save the race car, got into the 15 of Osborne, who went for a ride, who actually landed back on all 4 wheels. I think that's very impressive. It was just hanging on the outside, just trying to make sure he wasn't involved, but then he got tagged by Gretz on the way there, and then kind of had a little ride there, and fortunately didn't hit the inside wall, so at least it wasn't too much damage to his race car. And he's going to be back in 10th. Gretz, though, as we talked about a couple of times throughout this race, is now in this top 5. Got a question by our own Charlie Baier, as he asks, with Ask KBRN, he asks our picks to win here for tonight. 8 laps to go. Joseph, your thoughts. Who do you think is going to win or take the checkered flag in this first race in the Wall Stadium iRacing League?
With 8 laps remaining and how the things are shaking out, you could probably count on Gretz, but you probably cannot. It's a tough decision for Alex Gretz. It's either going to be between Dom Russo, Paulie Hartwig Jr., or Kyle Sisko. One of those top 3, it will be a single file restart next time we get a caution flag. Probably one of those top 3. They've been fastest. Dom Russo sat on the pole with a 15.631. I'm sorry, 15.498. Sorry, my bad. And he's been fast all race. So we'll see who's going to take this. Who's your pick?
Well, I think I'm going to look for Federuso. I think he's been defending well all night. Cautions
Grant,
have been
3
plaguing
wide,
him, but
Gretz.
we're looking at a restart that did not work for Federuso. 3 wide into turn 1 as Gretz tried to force the issue down there. Kyle Cisco is going to return the favor, and they're still 3 wide into 3 and 4. Meanwhile, though, Paulie
Kyle
Hartwig
Cisco's loose.
Hartwig found his way
again.
in. Gretz is around.
Gretz goes around. Parley Hartwig Jr. The first challenge for the lead goes to Parley Hartwig. Dom Federuso loses the lead, and Parley Hartwig, your new race leader, Alex K. Gretz, gets tagged by Kyle Cisco. Driver out of New Jersey, drives the number 6x2 at the Wall Stadium for the modified program, and Gretz not happy right now. He's going up to Kyle Cisco right now, I believe, to show his feelings.
Well,
wow.
I mean, there was the initial I mean, it didn't look like contact. I think it might have just been an internet thing on the iRacing platform. There were 3 wide as Cisco was looking to the bottom. He might have gotten loose, got tagged by the 76, and then in turn turned over the 09 around.
Yeah, they're just up on the front straight right now. This is like the 86 of James Gerald gets tagged.
This is Gretz expressing his displeasure right there, stopping right in front of Cisco. Cisco is finding his way around, and the 86.
Yeah.
Unfortunate. There's just an innocent bystander there. Wasn't even at fault, or wasn't even at part of that there. But get another yellow.
Sort of reminds me of Turkey Derby last year, 2019, where we had a little bit of a similar impact. If you don't know what happened last year in the Legends cars, we had a good green flag run coming to 2 laps ago. They had a restart. One of the restarts, Daniel Silvestri, brand new to the Wall Stadium in the Legends cars, first time race, got the pole, led pretty much the entire race to get the caution. He checked up, got pushed by Noah Corner, and Kevin Nowak. He got finished off by Daniel, and Nowak completely just stopped the field on the front straightaway. He was just showing displeasure to Daniel Silvestri. It was just a racing incident, but it was not too happy. That's what kind of reminds me right there between Gretz and Cisco. Again, both of those drivers have good talent. They're coming to the green this time by Kyle Cisco, Dom Federuso, Parley Hartwig. I think he pitted. No, he got an EOL.
He got a penalty for that restart as he was the leader was supposed to be the one that started it, but Hartwig took advantage. So Federuso's back in the race lead. We're green with 3 laps to go. Look at the blocking by the 76. Mancini trying to get the podium. They're 3 wide. As the 35 going to look down to the inside. Meanwhile, up front, Kyle Cisco has been looking at that race lead awfully within the past couple laps. He's going to be looking white flag from Southern National.
Federuso blocks to the bottom of the racetrack. Cisco up top, 2 loose on the top side. Out of turn number 2, down the back straightaway. Dom Federuso leads. Kyle Cisco P2. Ryan Kaluth P3. Nobody's going to catch Dom Federuso. Dom Federuso takes home the checker flag in the Legends cars here at Southern National.
Federuso wins after Hartwig got penalized. Cisco will file through to second. Ryan Kuthau will finish third after that miraculous pass underneath the 76.
Oh, and Gretz took out Cisco at the checker flag. Gretz on his roof, barrel rolling down the back in turn number 3 above the banking, and out on his roof, he gets a tow back to pit road.
Oh my god, there's the contact. I knew he definitely was one that got away for Alex K. Gretz, who had a shot at the race win. But meanwhile, Federuso celebrates. He burns it down with Kyle Cisco right there on the front straightaway. They are the finishers, at least. First 1 and 2 as Federuso wins the first out of the 2 races. The Legends car division going to park it right in front of Victory Lane. Right there on the checkered plaid right there next to the front straightaway start-finish line. That is your finish here from Southern National in the first race of the Wall Stadium iRacing League in the Legends cars. Going to look over to our results. Obviously, Tom Federuso with a win. The first time the season opener. And the number 26 holds on through most of the chaos. Pretty much without any damage whatsoever. Kyle Cisco, after a valiant effort to try to get to the race lead, was not able to do so. He finishes second. Ryan Kuthau finishes in the 35 in third after that move underneath Paul Mancini, who comes home in fourth. Brian Osborne finishes in the top 5. Patrick Gallagher finishes in 6th. James Gerald finishes 7th. Alex K. Grates after that up and down run, basically going from the front, front to the back. He finishes in 8th. Bruce Pernitza Jr. will finish in 9th. James Easley will round out this top 10.
Then it'll be Parley Hartwig Jr. P11, Eric Sketter P12, last car on the lead lap. First car lap down is number 52 of Travis Stuffin, and then Travis Schwartz will finish P14, minus 6 laps down. As we have Dom Federuso, your race winner tonight here in the KBRN broadcast. Welcome, Dom. Congratulations on the opening night win here at Southern National. How does that feel?
The car pretty good there. It was fun to run with all those guys.
Now, some guys were loose. How was your car throughout that entire, I guess, short run of a race?
Well, I wish it would have went green a little bit there. Just building the setup a little bit earlier today, trying to see what it would do. It's really free early, and kind of stays consistent there. So it kind of was right in the middle there that whole run.
All right. Last question before we let you thank whoever you need to thank. What was contact between you and Alex Kagretz? He was going to the inside of you, and I don't know really what happened there. It looks like you two just came together, and he just lost it on the apron.
Yeah, I saw him get under me there. I gave him a groove there, but I think he got his left sides on the apron there and spun it around. You can't get left sides on the apron in these high bank tracks.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about all race. Before we let you go, do you have anyone that you want to thank?
Everybody should just go check out Instagram. A ton of race clothing. Pretty cool stuff.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us, and congratulations on opening night win.
Yes, it was fun.
All right, well, that is your winner, Dom Fataruso. He gets out of the booth, and unfortunately, I don't believe we have Kyle Sisko in order to interview. I don't believe he's in any of the voice chats. We're actually going to bring in third place runner, Ryan Kuthau. We'll bring him in the number 35 as he made his way, kind of made that very valiant move down underneath 3 wide. And Ryan, first of all, welcome to the KBueno Racing Network booth, and what a finale run there, at least in that pass all the way to the end on the bottom, 3 wide almost to the 76. You were almost getting blocked all the way to the bottom, but you made that move work. Just give us your perspective on what really was the motive behind this entire race, and at least from your perspective, how it went for you, and especially what was going through your mind in that final lap as you were looking for that P3 spot.
Yeah, I saw Paul. I got a really good jump on him, and yeah, it was a really good race. Yeah, but when I looked down the inside, I saw him coming down, then I saw Osborne go to the outside, and I just want to make it work on there and the inside, and just held my line and everything, just went.
Definitely held your line, and you stayed aggressive there, even though a lot of drivers in a lot of those situations, they could have backed out, but you said, no way, Jose, I'm going to make my move to the inside and make it work. But Ryan, I know there wasn't a lot of green flag laps to really give a diagnosis on this entire run in the Legend car, at least at this track specifically, but in terms of the rest of this season, is there any expectations that you're holding at the moment about what these Legend cars could be, what your performance would be like in this series, and just overall the entire experience in the Wall Stadium iRacing League?
I'm just trying to get some good finishes, just run consistent, not get into many wrecks. Like, I knew my car was loose in the first couple of laps, and I just decided to get an EOL, start in the back, and try to avoid all the wrecks. But I'm going to try to do that for the rest of the races and just stay out of trouble and just try to get a good finish.
Definitely a great finish for you and that number 35 machine. Before we let you go, Ryan, is there anyone you'd just like to thank, any sponsors, teams, or really anyone else you'd just like to give your love and shout out to here tonight on this run at Southern National?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my mom and dad for getting me the game and everything. I actually got on my birthday, so it was actually great. So I would like to thank Grosso Homes, Compact Cars. Yeah, that's it.
All right, Ryan. Well, of course, we appreciate the time, and of course, congratulations on your podium finish here tonight at Southern National. Of course, we thank you once again, and of course, we'll let you go celebrate that 3rd place, and we'll move on for the rest of this season. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
That is Ryan Kuthau, your 3rd place finisher here from Southern National. We'll bring in 4th place, and since we couldn't get to Kyle Sisko, we'll actually move back to our final interview of the evening, and we'll actually bring in Paul Mancini from the number 76, who finished in 4th place. He is trackside with Joseph Costello.
Paul Mancini, you finished P4 today. Man, what happened out there?
I don't know. I'm just not good on asphalt. I mostly just run dirt. And I heard there was a league tonight, and I was trying to run it, and I was able to, and I just did the best that I could. I'm not really good on asphalt.
All right. Well, That's just that it's you have your own professionals on your own type of racing, whatever. Throughout the we saw a lot of guys got loose out there today. Since you come from a dirt background, you think your car was set up properly?
Yeah, the car was good. It's just, I just need to run more laps on asphalt and get more comfortable. I rarely run asphalt, just like once every couple days maybe.
All right. Well, would you like to, who do you want to thank? Like sponsors, teams, anybody that you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank Logan Rumsey Esports and everybody over there, Hayden Cardwell, Logan Rumsey, and all them guys.
All right. Well, thank you on joining us tonight. And congratulations on P4, my man.
Thank you.
That is Paul Mancini, your 4th place finisher here from Southern National. It's going to wrap up our interviews. We were initially going to be top 3, but since Cisco isn't here in any of the waiting rooms, I don't believe he's in this server. We're going to be looking at least, obviously, 1st, 3rd, and 4th for these interviews. Joseph, we just got through this 40-lap event. A lot of yellows to supplement. Obviously, we did get a winner, Dom Fatarusso, but now we're looking over into the modified division. We're going into at 9 p.m. Eastern at this very track. Obviously, the cars are a lot more powerful. There is a lot more to work with those cars, especially from this Legend side of things. I think before we talk about that, actually, we'll just talk about the recap here tonight from the Legend cars here at Southern National. What are going to be your expectations, at least when we move on to the rest of the season in these cars specifically?
It's going to be very interesting with how everything shapes out with the Legends cars and how people can drive their own type of car. It's going to be a very interesting season with Dom Fatarusso as he is your race 1 when he's going to be taking over the points lead. We could see a shakeup with Dom Fatarusso falling back throughout some races. Kyle Cisco coming in, joining the championship battle with Alex Egretz, Parley Hartwig, and all those guys coming in. With the modifieds, it's going to be a lot different. We're going to see how people can drive those things. Obviously, again, like you said earlier, a big difference between horsepower. The Legends cars, obviously, they have a lot less than the Tour modifieds. They're a little easier to drive, a little harder to drive. Depends how you want to see it. It's gonna be interesting. Pretty much every car likes to burn tire. They like to lose tire wear. The modifieds, it's a different story. The modifieds, they don't wear tires. Like, they don't go down to like 95, 92, 80. That's very hard to do in the modifieds. They mostly like to burn the record tire off, which makes the car a lot looser. It's like tire wear, but it overheats. So it'll be a very interesting factor for the modifieds to see what people could do to save that right rear tire.
Definitely going to be interesting to see as we move forward. And, of course, you can catch the Wall Stadium iRacing League, and we'll continue our coverage at 9 p.m. Eastern. You're going to take a short, I believe, an hour break, maybe an hour 30, before we get back live here from Southern National. We'll have all the coverage back live with the modifieds here. A lot more powerful. Going to be a very different challenge, and especially a longer race. 100 laps going to be set place right here under the lights from the Southern National Motorsports Park. So for everyone here at the KBueno Racing Network, for everybody that makes it possible, for our members, Charlie Baier and Francisco Bacchian, of course, for Joseph Costello, thank you so much for joining us in the booth. Definitely was a lot of fun over this short event. Going to be a lot more fun once we get over to the modified event. So a good thank you for being in the booth. And on behalf of all of us here, my name is Kenneth Bueno, saying good night, and we'll see you once more at 9 p.m. Eastern for the modifieds in the Wall Stadium iRacing League.